I don't know if this constitutes as a skinwalker or not, but I feel like my life is in danger. I live in a small house with my grandparents because they've lost everything once their health has started to go down the drain. So, it's become our responsibility, along with my parents, to take care of them until they pass. My father is German and Irish, and my mother is full-blooded Navajo. Her parents are also full-blooded Navajo, as expected. My brothers and sisters are half, but I am not Navajo at all. My father had a child before he met my mother, or my now stepmom. That child is me, so all of my siblings are about 5 years younger than I am. For the record, I still keep in contact with my real mother. Now, because my grandparents on my mother's/stepmother's side are full Navajo, they believe that they had brought bad luck with them, and they are followed by a being of evil. They speak Navajo very well, and I can't speak a drop of it to save my life. My stepmother, who I'll just refer to as my real mother, because we're so close anyways, can speak it well. She has a knack of not letting me know exactly what's going on. So the first time I was relayed this information, I kinda chuckled to myself and thought, what, like a poltergeist? I knew nothing of what a skinwalker was, and the time it didn't take long before I learned what it actually was. A couple of months ago, my grandparents began to get really sick, and they lost everything they had, which is why they're living with us. But I feel like they brought something with them. My grandmother has had a being that has been plaguing her now, and it has been now drawn to her house. During the daytime, you can sometimes see this tall black figure wandering around in the distance that kind of looks human, but it doesn't quite look all the way human. It's an entirely black figure, and there's no real shape or detail to it. It's as creepy as it can get. If my grandmother sees that, she freaks out and claims that's the creature that's haunting her. It never comes anywhere close to her house though, or our house during the day at least. I haven't had any issues with the creature at night, nor have I ever seen it up close. But I will say this, all throughout the night, I have these horrible vivid nightmares of a creature stalking our house, trying to get in, trying to get my grandmother. These nightmares occur all night long and have been happening since they moved in a couple of months back. It's every single night. There is no break. It seems to be the same reoccurring themes over and over again, spanned across several reoccurring nightmares. I'm not brave enough to get up in the middle of the night to look out the window to see if these are actually real or not, and frankly, I don't want to. Being brave doesn't get me anything in this situation, except terrorized. Once the sun goes down, the feeling and the atmosphere change. You don't feel safe anymore. We all feel that. You begin to feel on edge, like there's something that's going to happen, but never does. I don't know if I'm supposed to be waiting around for this thing to try and get into the house, or what's going to happen. Does it just want my grandmother, and then it's going to leave us alone? Does it want all of us now that we're with her? I don't even know who to talk to, or who to go with my questions. I haven't really sat down and done any research like I probably should have, but I guess I should, since there are resources out there. I figured sharing my situation first is probably my best bet, as I would prefer real human feedback before I just started looking for answers. So let me ask you this, what lurks beneath. Have you had any personal experience with an entity that resembles what I am speaking of? Am I crazy, and is it all in my head? Do you feel like there's any truth to my situation? And if so, what is it that I should do? We live about 100 miles outside of the res to the west, and I always thought that skinwalkers were only on the reservation. But if that's what this thing really is, then I guess I'm wrong. Thanks for any feedback I can get. Living out in Arizona, I can describe it in one word: crazy. I don't live super far away from the Apache National Forest, and so there's an area behind my house that's heavily forested, and not so much dry desert like much of the state is. Unbeknownst to many people, a lot of the state has dense forest and rich greenery. It's not all just dry desert like many think it is. Anyway, I moved in here at the beginning of the year, and it's been a hell of an experience, let alone the whole 2020 thing and COVID and all that. Before I tell you about the things I've been experiencing and have seen, I haven't actually physically seen any creature with my eyes, but I've seen evidence of whatever animal or creature this could be, and I've certainly heard things off in the distance. We'll start with the dead animals. Over the past year since I've lived here, there have been dead animals showing up left and right around the backside of my house. It's not just the fact that they are dead animals, it's the fact of the matter in which how they died. Surprisingly, there's been about 3 or 4 dead doe that just look like they dropped dead. Except for one thing. They're ripped open. Always the same way, in the same spot, with their entrails and guts completely missing. No signs of them being eaten or torn at anywhere else on their body. There's no missing eyeballs, no chunks of meat taken out of their necks or back, nothing. There's no signs of a predator grabbing them and pulling them away to be eaten on. Just ripped open right at their gut and everything missing. It's beginning to freak me out, is what it's doing. At nighttime, and only at night, I'll hear these weird screaming sounds. It sounds like a woman being murdered far up in the woods behind me. I know cougars can make sounds like a woman being murdered as well, but this sounds much louder and lower in pitch, and the timbre sounds different. Maybe I can try and get a recording of it sometime so I can send it to you, so this way you can know what I mean. This is still going on. I'm writing this to you on August 5th, 2020, and as of now, I am still experiencing all of these things. They have not stopped. Sometimes I'll hear a voice that I don't quite recognize, but it sounds like a young woman calling my name outside. I don't know what on earth it could be, or who is out there calling my name, but I don't feel good about any of it. The first few times I was wondering if I was going through a psychotic episode, and then the next few times it happened, I wondered if it truly could be something evil. I do believe in supernatural and evil creatures that live out in the woods, and even more so now that I'm actually experiencing them firsthand. I told a few of my friends, some of them who are natives, and they tell me that I need to go get blessed right away, because I'm dealing with something serious. My one friend is very stern and tells me to not blow this off. You are being hunted. Hunted by what? If it's a creature, then I could assume it is some sort of animal, and that means it can die if I pump enough bullets into it. I'm heavily equipped and ready. It might sound weird to me that I hear somebody calling my voice outside my house, and I'm not acting freaked out, but believe me, it scares the living hell out of me. But I choose to ignore it the best I can and keep all my weapons armed, locked, and loaded. If it comes anywhere near my house, which it has not yet, I won't hesitate to put a whole clip into it, whatever it may be. The same friend who told me that I'm being hunted, he's a great friend of mine, and he's full Apache. He's the one who told me that I chose the wrong place to move where my house is, like it's really my choice. Tons of people in the area are also experiencing paranormal and bizarre things similar to what I am. I asked him about the dead animals being ripped open and their guts being removed, and he says it's the same creature that is stalking me and hunting me. I was reluctant to believe any of it at first, but it seems like there's some horrifying truth, and he's not the type of person to make anything up like this. He's not really an imaginative guy anyway. His whole family has warned him of the same thing, and even he stays out of certain areas because he does not want to attract the wrong energy towards him or his family. I wondered for a while if it's anything I did, maybe spewed out a negative word or energy, or that it's strictly my location. Whatever creature this is strictly territorial, and I just so happen to be living in a spot that is a part of its hunting territory, or so I'm told. I guess it's pretty bad when even a lot of the Apache tribe doesn't want to deal with it because they consider it too dangerous. I'm considering moving now because I don't know how long I'll be safe here, even though I have ample firepower to deal with the situation at hand. What are your thoughts on my situation? I know you get dealt with a lot of Skinwalker stories and Dogman accounts. Do you think what I'm dealing with here could be a Skinwalker or something else? I am definitely concerned that Apache tribesmen are telling me I need to be concerned because I'm being hunted. Those people know the outdoors like none other, and if they are telling me that what I'm dealing with is dangerous, then I should probably listen. I'm far too stubborn and prideful to give up my house and change locations, but now I'm starting to wonder how much torment do I need to endure before I listen.